It's hard when you have to compare it to. I just had to talk about it. I have to talk about this. Um, Hello, everyone. Andrew here again. And it's here. The tribute album. It's here. Everyone's getting involved. Tribute. From A24 music to Talking Heads. Stop Making Sense. Stop Making Sense. It's a big deal for me. One of my favourite live albums of all time. Talking Heads, one of my favourite, if not, bands of all time. I was anticipating this. And from the singles, there was reason to be hopeful. I've seen a lot of articles online, people kind of dunking on this, saying, oh, well, it doesn't live up to the original. Of course it wasn't going to live up to the original. I mean, are you crazy? But there's definitely some worthy attempts. And this is my honest reaction. Now, first up, Psycho Killer, performed by Miley Wrecking Ball Cyrus. This wasn't the one. This wasn't the one. I like what she does. She kind of twists the melody of the chorus, but then she just sort of adds in her own lyrics about being like obsessed with someone, like paparazzi style. I didn't like it. I didn't like the start of this tribute album. Just stick to David Byrne's amazing lyrics. If you want to listen to a redo of this track, just listen to the acoustic version. Next is we've got The National doing The National Heaven. It was they had this shot. When they had that sort of twinkling synthesizer, I was like, yeah, because what these musicians, especially the people doing the first 4 tracks, they're not under the circumstances of the performance where it was like one instrument at a time. They had the guitar for Psycho Killer and David Byrne's vocals, and then Heaven was the bass and guitar and vocals, and so on. But here they've got a whole, studio and band at their hands. I don't know if that makes sense. There's some endless possibilities. The National, they didn't put their whole. It's fine. It was better than Psycho Killer. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Like, if The National released this, I would be like, well, it's fine. There's nothing too wrong with it. There's nothing amazing. Yeah, you get a star, The National. Then, thank you, Blonde Shell. Blonde Shell really picks up steam with Thank You for Sending Me an Angel. Whew, really great. Kind of starts off slow and you're like, okay, what are we doing with this? And then by the end, because that song actually has that marching tempo, and by the end she kind of crescendos it up to the top, and well done, kudos. Really good version of the song, and we kind of keep climbing, we keep getting better. The Lindas, there's a few bands, artists I have not heard of. The Lindas found a job. Thumbs up from me. I love the vocal like repeats, like sort of like a call in echo. Gives it sort of this nice little sort of childish energy, which there kind of is. In the lyrics, it's sort of like they're explaining Bob and Judy's situation in sort of like a childish sense, like really just breaking it down to the very simplest terms. They're making situations. I like the energy that the Lindas brought to this song. I did. I sound like a certain reviewer. God. Then we really get to the meat of the project. Slippery People. A lot of people like the live version a lot more than the studio version. The thing is that a lot of these covers are replicating the live version, not the studio version, which is cool because the live version, they capture that energy, that lightning in a bottle, like gets my blood pumping. Slippery Pebbles performed by El Mato a un Policía Motorizado. Never heard of them. They did very well. It started off and I'm like, okay, what are we doing? It just sounds like a generic rock song. Are you gonna dismiss the groove of one of the grooviest songs of all time? And it comes in. It's when you get those guitars and the chorus, you can find it. It's good. It's a jam. It's a jam. Then Paramore comes in. They put a pedal to the metal with Burning Down the House. You could not mess this up. You could not mess this up. Thank you, Paramore. Thank you. I know a lot of people loved this cover, and originally I was like, yeah, but have you heard the original? Hello. I guess I keep dropping my thoughts throughout this, but what a good thing about this album is that Talking Heads fans will listen to this and they'll be like, oh, I really like Paramore, or I really like Tizo Touchdown, and they'll get into these other artists. And then fans of these artists doing the covers will be like, wait a minute, this is awesome, I'm going to listen to more Talking Heads, which you should, because, yeah, Paramore, they didn't fuck around, they got in, they got out. They didn't really change too much, except for maybe a nice buttery guitar bridge to take us into the last leg of the song. Slick, smooth, the vocals, the yelping, you get those David Byrne-isms. David Byrne liked it so much, he covered one of theirs, one of Paramore's songs, Hard Times. And then track number 7 could be one of my favorite songs of all time, Life During Wartime. Sadly, they're not DJ Tunes or Tunes, not familiar with them, but they sadly just didn't meet the mark with this. I like sort of the genre switch up, was not expecting it, but we don't get that hook, and we don't get the bum da na 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 da na 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 na. We don't get that catchy melody. It kind of feels like we're asleep at the wheel here, and vocal performance-wise. It's smooth, it's sort of noir. I feel like I might be cruising downtown, but that pressure, that urgency is not there. And for a song called Life During Wartime, I don't know, better than Miley Cyrus, sort of almost at that heaven level. At least DJ Tunes is actually, he does something different with it. He does something very different with it, and what can you do for trying? Next is, okay, Making Flippy Floppy with Tizo Touchdown. When I first heard this, I was like, okay, well, the instrumentals sound pretty identical, but I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I think Tizo got that message. His vocal performance, good, electric, eccentric, great. He does very, very, very well. Gold star. 3 gold stars. Three gold stars for that one. Yeah, I was there for it. I was locked in. I was listening to what he was saying. I wanted to hear those lyrics again from Tizo. Great. And then track number 9, Swamp. When comparing studio version to live version, Swamp is like, we got the yelping, the little vocal scatting, and that is replicated here, which I'm really happy to see. But Gene Dawson, my golly gosh, when this started I was immediately intrigued. I was like, okay, we've got a genre switch, let's see what happens. And they did so incredibly well. I was so pleased with this. I loved the direction it took. They took that sort of dark and dingy element of the song and they ran with it into this sort of more somber cut. I was totally there for it. I was hooked. I loved how he expressed the lyrics. It made me think a lot more about what the song is saying, the way he was singing it. The guitars, thumbs up. thumbs up, Gene Dawson. Thank you. Next, we've got a nice kind of chill, vibey cut from the Cavemen on What a Day That Was. Good. It's a vibe. I dig it. You did really well. I think David Byrne would love this one. I think he would. Then probably one of the standouts of the album. This must be the place, the standout song in any situation. But we've got Jazz Legends, Bad, Bad, Not Good. And Norah Jones was actually really, really popular. They nailed it. They did well. I've said that a lot, but there's some good efforts. There's some really good efforts, and these guys did well. I love the jazz, the trumpets, the vocals are just, I could go for seconds. Thumbs up. If I had 3 thumbs, you'd be getting 3 thumbs up. Good job. Really good. Then we've got Kevin Abstract of Brockhampton, Once in a Lifetime. He brings a different vibe to this song. I can't say I'm head over heels for it. It's a great song. Kevin's version of it. It's not bad. It's pretty good. I like what he's doing. It's chill. Still makes up for a great song. We don't really lose that energy of the original. So well done. Well done. You know, it's one thing to do a cover and it's another thing to replicate what the original had. Not one for one, but in terms of spirit and soul. We can say that for the majority of these tracks. After Once in a Lifetime, we go from Talking Heads to the Tom Tom Club with Genius of Love, with Tori Moore and I think it's Brigitte? I don't know, I'm sorry. Chef's Kiss. It feels like the song was made for Tori Moore and Brigitte. They did fabulous. I love the Tori Moore mannerisms in the instrumental, that vibey synth. It's delicious. It's delicious. I loved it. And I really, really love the Stop Making Sense version of Genius of Love, because we get there's this narrative of the sort of weird, creepy, unhappy boyfriend, which is represented by Chris France, the drummer, to Tina Weymouth, and he's sort of yelling in the background. He's like, check it out. He picks up some of his David Byrne-isms, and it works really well in his favour. And I was hoping to get some more of that, and we do, from Toro Moore on the back end of this track, and I love it. He comes in with that energy to Brigitte's sort of peaceful vocals, and they did this justice. They did this justice. Speaking of justice, Girlfriend is Better by Girl in Red. Well done, Girl in Red. This is great. When the singles came out, this was probably my favourite single. I like the instrumental. I like what Girl in Red's doing. It's kind of perfect for her, especially with her new album. She's on fire. She's literally red. She's red. Because this slapped. I hope her audience like it, because it deserves to be like, the song generally deserves to be like, I mean, heck, it's what the album's named after, so it's got a bang, and thankfully it does. Next up, track 15, Take Me to the River with Kiwi Lord. It's good. It's vibey, it's chill, sort of reminds me of early Lord, but I feel like Lord could put a little more into the vocal performance. It feels like she sort of just like falls off vocally in some parts. Maybe that's what she was going for, and I can kind of see where she was coming from. Definitely far from the worst cover on the album. Could have been better, could have been a lot worse. Good job, Lord. Making New Zealand proud. Make more music. Then we have my favourite song on the album. There was a line. There was a formula, cross-eyed and painless, with, I've never heard of these people, Chicano Batman and Money Mark. They did it. They did very well. What can I say that I haven't said for some of these other tracks that they just got this one. They got the memo, and they made a banger. The vocal energy is there. We've got that yelping, oh, help me, I'm in the hospital, I don't know what's wrong with me energy. The instrumental follows along very well. I can see myself listening to this again because I love the original. And these guys, they did superb. They did superb. Thank you, Chicano, Batman, and Melly Mark. Well done. Just, I guess, to collect my thoughts, I'm disappointed in Spotify for not telling me when this album was coming out. That I couldn't pre-save it. But I was always going to find it. It was really good to see everyone don their giant suits. I hope this does good things for Talking Heads. I hope this does good things for some of these other artists that did really well. What else can I say? It's alright. It could have been a lot worse. Maybe could have been a little bit better in some songs, but I love the idea of this. I'm a little saddened they didn't give these extra songs that were on the deluxe that came out this year, or last year, sorry, like Cities or Edinburgh and Big Business. Maybe they couldn't get enough artists to pull through with that one. They are great cuts. Would have been cool to see them, but beggars can't be choosers. And I am a beggar. Great work, everyone for the most part. Let's do some more tribute albums for some other artists. I don't know. Beatles? I don't know. That would go insane. But yeah, pretty good. I'll be mulling over most of these tracks for time to come. Still listening, still vibing, but can never beat the original. And that's all I have to say. Thank you. Bye-bye.